but this is what you see in, you know, the diorama in the museum, diorama. This is what you see in Natural History Museum, for example. So here you see the Neolithic housing site. You know, there is a river, and then you live on the river bank, and then you can have endless supply of fish, seashells, right? And then some people may go to the field or mountainside and catch like rabbits or birds and come back. Then here maybe people are creating the the cone patterned jars. So Neolithic is the beginning of organized community life, organized society. There is no hierarchy, meaning like a ruling class versus working class kind of hierarchy. It's more like an egalitarian. That's what archaeologists so far argues. Anyhow, in this type of environment, you are collaborating based on your techniques. So men are more hunters and gatherers, as we heard, and the women are more like craftsmen and caretakers. So this is of Neolithic villages. So if you go to Amsadong in Seoul, they recreated that prehistoric settlement site. And then that Neolithic home patterned jar is spread along to other areas. That is here, like some sort of like here, home ceramic culture. You see that purple area, home ceramic culture. So this is related to Siberia through that the Ural Altai mountains, and then if you go farther up, it goes to Sweden, like Scandinavian countries, all the way up, or like a Finland, those kind of area, home ceramic cultures. So it is different from the Chinese style potteries. So along with cone patterned jar, they also used polished stone axes. So these are the blades. You can sharpen them, so it becomes really, really sharp. And then you probably have like a wood stick, right? And then you tie them together so that you can use the blades of the stone axes. Cone patterned vessel is also different from Japanese Neolithic pottery, which is called cord marked. So instead of using sharp stick for this pattern, in Japanese Neolithic pottery, they rolled patterned cord, like a rope. So it's a little bit different. That's what I am trying to say. So if you see the map, the Korean style, what is it? The stone, the Neolithic cone is more related to Siberia and along the mountain areas. It's a little bit different. So again, this is explaining that Korean style cone patterned jar is different from Japanese Jomon period. So they did not share much similarities. Also, these are Chinese Neolithic examples. In China, the Neolithic potteries were painted. There are some geometric patterns, but Chinese geometric patterns, like as you see here, or these lines or lines, these are not the texture scratches. These are all painted with brush. So that's big difference. So distribution of cone patterned pottery is strange enough to show that you see the mountain areas of Korean Peninsula, they are related to these are all mountain areas. And then it goes to like the Central Asia mountain areas, and then you have actually similarities in Scandinavian peninsula. So that is Neolithic. Most important Neolithic artifact is a cone patterned jar, and it shows that Scandinavia, Altai Mountains, Manchu, and Korea relationship. not mainland China. It's not related to that Pacific Northwest. It's different. Now, if we go to the Bronze Age, like any other Bronze Age, you start to see organized labor and social hierarchy. Social hierarchy, meaning there is a ruling class, and then there are large group of working class people. And because organized labor is available, you are going to see a colossal monument, such as this dolmen. It's called dolmen. It's English. Dolmen is a large, colossal stone monument. In Korea, in Korean word, this is called go-in-dol. Like a dol means rock. Go-in-dol. So, is this man-made monument? What do you think? Well, you may not so sure. So this is a man-made monument. So they are still living not very far from the river, but they moved a little bit more plain area where you can have a larger group of people to live together. So that these kind of colossal rocks, usually where do they come from? Either on the upper part of the river, right, or in the middle of the mountains. So it was discovered, like sort of found right in the middle of the mountain, and then it traveled hundreds of miles in order to be placed right here. So during the Bronze Age, people say that go-in-dol or dolmens were usually created to show the power or the authority of community leaders, usually used as a tomb of an important person in the community. And then if you excavated this go-in-dol area, then you get some bronze tools. Why do we call this as Bronze Age? Because you have some bronze tools, like a mirrors. You will see some examples. And then for the potteries, they now use this kind of well-polished round pots like this. So it is called eggplant pattern jar because the pattern looks like eggplant, but they knew how to use sort of a brush type of objects in order to apply, how do you call it? It's called a slip. It's a clay slip liquid, and then once you bake it together, it creates different colors. So Bronze Age is dated from, let's say, earlier part, 800 BCE, usually like a 500 BCE. That's the climax of Bronze Age. So organized labor. And then instead of applying the patterns, they can use polish. You can use some iron-rich pigment, and then if you fire it, you can have red colors. And then these are usually funerary in the context. You know the word funerary? It's related to their tombs and funerary context. Usually in the tombs or ritual use. But in China, if you say Bronze Age, you're going to see these kind of ritual vessels made of bronze a lot. In Korea, we don't see this kind of colossal bronze pots. Instead, we are going to see bronze mirrors. So bronze mirrors are rare. And you have geometric patterns on the top, like a circle or triangle. Because bronze mirror is elaborate and press, these are probably owned by either priests, right, or kings or rulers of each society. So you say usually related to shamans or rulers. So this is the example of bronze mirrors dated around the 3rd to 2nd century BCE in Korea. We have other types of bronze objects. We don't know how it was used. Maybe decorating some furniture. If you have this type of altar, right, rectangular altar, you can put these bronze objects on the corners, but it's not really certain bamboo shaped bronze.